What's going on, YouTube? So I'm back here with another One Piece chapter review. This time it's about chapter 4, the Great Captain Morgan. So we're gonna learn about Captain Morgan and Sun, obviously, and a little bit more about Zoro. Yeah, let's jump right into this chapter because apparently saying jump right in is my thing. So we don't get a chapter cover this time. The chapter cover is just the start of the actual chapter itself, which you don't see too often. One Piece at least. But yeah, everyone's freaking out because Luffy punched Helmeppo, and everyone on the island fears Captain Morgan. And so they're blown away that Luffy would actually hit his son. So he's walked around being a dick to everyone for weeks and weeks on end. Sure, they're all getting a little bit of pleasure out of this, but overall they're fearing for their lives to some degree because who knows how Captain Morgan's gonna react? Apparently, he's very volatile. Yeah, Luffy's like, I don't give a damn if I pick a fight with the whole Navy. He's like, scum is scum, no matter who the father is. He's like, that makes no difference to me. Like, I'll punch anyone that I don't like. That's just who I am. I'm not afraid. Treat people how I feel like they deserve to be treated. He's not gonna let people walk all over him. Helmeppo goes on to say, nobody's hit me, not even my dad. He starts screaming, I'm Captain Morgan's beloved son. I'm telling Daddy on you. And Luffy doesn't care. He's like pissed. He wants him to fight him. He's like, dude, you just gonna run away from a fight? What kind of man are you? You sit here and talk big mouth to everyone. He's like, to me as a person, you should be able to stand up for yourself and fight me. Like, I don't care if I upset you. If you fight me, I'll respect you more. But he's pissed. He went back on his word with Zoro. Zoro seems like an admiral dude to Luffy, and then you add all that, and he's getting screwed out of a situation where he's trying to do the right thing, and he was being found guilty of these two's actions, their self-absorbed actions. And so yeah, Helmeppo's getting dragged away screaming, father's gonna kill you, father will take care of you, you booger face. Which, nice one coming from Helmeppo. Yeah, real solid one-liner there, bud. Luffy lands a way better response. He's like, he's not even worth hitting. And Kobe's just kind of standing there and all like, oh my god, Luffy. You have to pick a fight with any person that, might not be worth picking a fight with, might lead to a worse situation. You have to land on every island and pick the biggest baddie and just start causing trouble. Well, it's Luffy, so yes, he does. So the little girl that's been following Luffy and Kobe around, she feels a lot better about this. She's happy to see the guy causing all these issues actually get dealt with by someone standing up to him. And all the townspeople are like, get away from him. He's trouble, when Morgan finds out about this, he's gonna flip the whole town on its head. And she's like, no, he's a good person like Zoro. Everyone's like, nah. These are bad people you're messing with. The Marines are the only people we can trust, and even them, they're vicious, dangerous people themselves. So all the while, like, Kobe's just losing it. He's like losing his marbles. He's like, God, Luffy. He's like, you won't get away with this. Morgan's gonna take care of you. He's got the whole Navy behind him. Luffy doesn't think twice. He's like, I want to talk to Zoro. I want to go find Zoro, figure out how I can get him to join me. He's someone I want on my crew. Absolutely. So the scene pans in, and we get to see the Marine fortress again, and it drags in, and we see a silhouette of a figure, and then we get a back view of this figure, and he's saying, I'm so great. I am so great. And a lot of ego already coming off this character. It's obviously Captain Morgan. He's the head of the naval fortress, so the guy running at the top that they're showing off, it's got to be him. And yeah, one of the lieutenants answers to him, and he's like, you certainly are great, sir. He's like, by the way, tributes have been a little smaller from the townsfolk. It's harder for them. They're a bit hard up on cash. And Morgan's like, it's not a question of being poor, how much they can make. It's a matter of how much they respect me. If they make tribute, that means they respect me. If they aren't making tribute, I'm not getting that respect. Yeah, this dude's got a massive ego. He literally views all these townspeople as his peons. He's not here to take care of them. They're there to take care of him. It's kind of cool because they talk about tribute here. Tribute's something that they just tied in recently in the newer chapters. In One Piece, they started talking about how each island owes a certain amount of tribute to the Tenryubito, the world nobles, or the celestial dragons. Anyway, so this could be referencing that. Mostly, it seems like it's going directly towards him. They'll talk about it a little, not about the tributes later, but you kind of see where the money's going. But I'm sure that's kind of some of the idea is that the world government taxes these people a ton, and they're a lot of these smaller countries that aren't thriving are forced to cope with oppression and bigotry nature from all these leaders that are saying in exchange for our protection, you have to work and pay constantly for us to protect you from pirates. Yeah, you get another side view here of Morgan saying, as I said earlier, should be how much they respect me, not a matter of if they can pay or not. So yeah, Helmeppo comes bursting in and he's like, Father, I want you to kill someone for me. Up with Helmeppo. And we get a cut to a new scene. And it's Luffy meeting up again with Zoro. And Zoro's gonna like, what are you doing here, man? I'm just trying to finish this trial. You're here bothering me with your pirate BS, I ain't got time for this, man. I got my own ambitions. And he's like, if this is about joining your crew, the answer's still no, man. I'm pretty clear about this. Like, I've got something else going on right now. Luffy's like, doesn't even think twice about it. He just walks up and is like, hey, I can untie you and you can just join my pirate crew. That's all it takes. He's super bullheaded, just thick skulled, just nothing penetrates. It's like, here's no. It's not even a word to him. And Zoro's just like, God, you don't listen, man. I'm tied up here. I haven't eaten in weeks. I just ate some crappy dirt rice cake. And now you gotta get in my face with all this pirate bullcrap, man. Leave me alone. So, and then the next page, we get this couple panels here I wanted to use just because it didn't make sense to cut it all up. It's all nice and neat together. They start talking about what their goals are. Mostly Zoro's talking about what his goals are, and he doesn't think it revolves at all around what Luffy's trying to ascertain. So he's like, I've got my own mission, man. He's like, it doesn't mean I need to become a damn pirate just to do it, I'm not gonna be a scumbag like you. And Luffy's kind of like, oh man, you're too good to be a pirate. You're a bounty hunter. Like, what's the issue here? I mean, everyone calls you a demon. Like, doesn't seem like you're getting more respect than I am, And Zoro's like, I don't care what people think, man. I'm about what my code is. I'm about what my dream is. I'm gonna follow that future to the end. I'm gonna make sure I make my dream happen. And it's kind of cool because this is a lot of the resolve Luffy has. He's so fixated on reaching his goals. He's fixated on, no matter what happens on the way, whether I receive that goal or not, isn't the issue. It's a matter of, this is what I want, and I'm going to make it happen in my life. And that's all I'm going to go for. And so Zoro's just like, so that's why I'll never be a pirate. And to Luffy, this doesn't make sense. He wants to be king of the pirates. He wants to find the One Piece. All his talk is dreams to people, it's just absurd. Most people think when you want to become a pirate, you just don't want to work. You want to pillage and plunder and be a lazy sailor, just sail around the world, causing mass destruction and harming people, not really helping the world prosper. But again, as I said, Luffy's as thick-headed as always, and he says, dude, I've made up my mind. You're on my crew. Like, you're already there. Like, you're already a crewmate. Zoro's like, you don't get to decide that. Luffy goes on to make a lot of decisions for people in his life, whether they want to or not, whether they know or not. He makes decisions that, on his principle, make sense, and no matter what, you're kind of stuck with him. Stuck like rubber. So, the next thing is, this is kind of the general plot of the actual chapter, and it's Luffy needs to convince Zoro how to join his crew. He's gonna find a way, and Luffy goes, I heard you use swords, and Zoro's like, I'd show you how good I am with swords if I wasn't tied up. Luffy's like, I'll find your swords, man. I'll go figure out where they're at and give them to you. And apparently Helmeppo's got them because they had that run in earlier, and Zoro, his swords are very much a treasure, and this is something I didn't talk about exactly with Luffy. So I talked about how it's very important, but to Luffy, more than gold or anything in the world, that straw hat is the most important thing. It's his personal treasure. It's so sentimental to him. If he lost it, he wouldn't be himself. Like I said earlier, the straw hat and Luffy are almost one being because of how much they symbolize each other. They tie into each other so importantly. I mean, there's a lot of other concepts that kind of people like to tie in with the straw hat, but to me, in general, it just shows Luffy's carefree nature and his promise to Shanks and his dreams. It's all those things in one. It's Luffy's person, and it's also an item that kind of offers all that up. But to Zoro, it's something else. It's his swords. He holds those swords very dear to himself. He's a swordsman. He's known as a bounty hunter, but obviously he uses swords. He wants to master the sword. He wants that in his life, and to him, those are what he holds dearest. To lose a sword is to lose a best friend, to lose a fighting comrade. So Luffy really resonates with that. It's like, so you know what? I'll find your swords. You'll have to join my crew then because I have your treasure, man. Like, you'll have to join. And Zoro's pissed. He's like, you're blackmailing me? He's like, you're gonna go get my swords. He's like, I don't even want you to do this. He's like, you little rat. He's like, come on, man. He's like, why is this guy messing with me? Why is he so stuck on me being a part of his crew? And Luffy just kind of runs off to, go get his sword. And Zoro's just sitting there, just, god damn it. God, is he really that dumb? He's really gonna just walk straight into the fortress and try and find my swords that the captain's son actually took. The captain of the whole fortress is really gonna just walk right in there. He's like, God, this kid's not the brightest. Which, Zoro, you'd be very correct. And so then we come into another scene on top of the Marine base where they're trying to stand up this statue, and the whole time, Helmeppo's pissed. He's throwing this tantrum. He's like, Father, why aren't you hunting down the brigand who hit me? Like, even you never laid a hand on my lovely yet masculine face before. Yeah, it's very phallic face, but I wouldn't go so far as masculine. So Morgan's like sitting there telling him, he's like, you know why I've never hit you in your face before? And Helmeppo's like, because I'm your beloved son. He's like, I'll tell you why. He just cuts him right off, and he's like, it's because you're an idiot son who's not even worth hitting. He just sends him flying, Morgan doesn't care about anyone else but himself. Like, seriously, the ego on this dude. Like, Helmeppo's a dick, and he's got an ego. But Morgan shows where a lot of that personality really thrived in, where it came out of. The whole time, Helmeppo was probably nurtured watching Morgan walk around talking about how great he is, how amazing of a captain he is. The whole time Helmeppo's thinking, that's my dad, he's amazing, so I must be amazing. I'm the best there is out there, I'm Axe-Hand Morgan's son, everyone's gonna respect me. But Morgan doesn't even respect him. Most people just, quiver in fear because Helmeppo has a person of power above him. Helmeppo isn't really the person of power himself. He's very much the Caesar clown of the early part of the series. So next we get the full profile of Axe-Hand Morgan. We get to see his awesome, yet very to the point name represented in his hand. He has an axe in his hand, and God, it sends his elbow out like one of the long arm tribes or something. He's kind of like I think it's Adea. What's his name? Close. Adeo. But anyways, it reminds me a bit of that. He like modified his long arms so they like shot back, and they he could like extend his fist way further with his elbow being protruding so far back it just like slipped forward and like kind of made him kind of like a gum pistol. Not as far, but it just super impact, But anyways, on that side note, it's pretty cool. He's got a decent design early on for one of the villains. I like his chin mask deal where it holds his like whole jaw up, and then he's smoking a cigar through it. Other than that, nothing too insane yet that we get to see later, but he's going off about why he shouldn't have to fight Helmeppo's battles, which is accurate. I will say that's one of the few fatherly traits he's actually teaching Helmeppo. Shouldn't pick fights you're not ready to fight, man. He gets back into his ego again. He starts talking about how you shouldn't confuse who's the great one. Like, I'm the great one. you're not great. You're just hiding behind my great. And Helmeppo's just kind of crying there, you know. He's just like, but father, we were supposed to be great together, you know? Like, how am I supposed to boss people around if you aren't there to, you know, hand out the ass whoopings? But Morgan changes the conversation after that. He goes, you know, I heard there was a little girl who snuck into the parade ground. They call it a parade ground, but anyways, it's like the prison square where they put Zorro on display. And you know, Helmeppo's like, the little girl. He's like, oh yeah, I dealt with her. And Morgan's just like, you killed her, right? Yeah, you took care of her, you killed her. If we thought Helmeppo was a dick, I mean, he threatened to kill her. He insinuated that it was like Morgan is serious about he'll kill anyone that opposes him. His rule is absolute. He's got a very severely egotistical justice where you know, if you break any of his rules, you're 100% held accountable. It inflects upon his reputation. He doesn't want any of that. Helmeppo's even just like she's a little girl, man. Like, nah, she didn't know what she was doing. You know, we threw her out, which to me was, you know, Helmeppo did a better thing when you're talking about Morgan's decision and Helmeppo's decision. And so Morgan just barks out of command to one of his men. He's like, hey, like, go find that girl and kill her. Child or not, anyone who defies me will suffer. I will make sure they see the consequences of defying me. Like I said again, he's got this very egotistical justice that, you know, his word is law, which to a degree it is on this island, but it's absurd the levels he would go to hold it. Even the other Marines are just kind of like, whoa, bro, like, she's a little girl. I couldn't even, you know, follow through on one of those cruel orders. That's a bit rough, man. And Morgan ain't having none of it. He just turns to him and is like, then you are duty bound to obey me. And if I say kill her, then you will kill her. If you don't kill that little girl, you'll be dealt with. He doesn't say you'll be dealt with, but you know, the Marine just goes on to say, I won't murder a little girl, man. Like, I like being a Marine, but I'm not gonna, sink that low. Morgan's serious, man. Morgan's serious. He screams mutiny and cuts that dude down from shoulder to stomach, and yeah, he capped that dude. Like I said, there's a few people who die really early on. Oda really doesn't like killing people later. I mean, there's people who died, but they're not really shown off in this fashion later. He really steps away from that, and I think it's because he realizes most of this manga is being released, especially in his country, to younger children. And not that, us, like people who are older and enjoying One Piece wouldn't enjoy that, but there's other manga platforms like Seinen and stuff like that. For a lot of these outlets, it doesn't really need to step into shonen. Shonen's, for young kids. It's for young adults and kids. I respect it. But anyways, yeah, so he caps this dude, one of his men, had even held up, was like, damn, you didn't have to kill him. Everyone's just like, Lieutenant, like, damn. And Morgan doesn't even fret. He's just like, everyone will learn to respect me. Or the townsfolk must be taught respect. And he's like, I'll handle it personally, So in this panel, we get into a lot of what Morgan's views are on what your place in the world is and what makes you a very reputable person, a person of influence or power. And to him, to achieve things in life, it is all about rank. You gain rank through strength and personal cost. Rank means everything in the world. He's like, remember that. He's like, my rank is the highest on this base, which means I'm superior to everyone here. He fixates on being above others, being superior, and to be able to control them, to be able to, not really oppress, but flaunt his superiority. And he even says that means I do everything right. And man, does this guy got an ego. because he's the type of person that would do this. He's literally talked about how great he is because of his rank, how he's earned this rank on his base to be superior. And so, what most of the tribute's been going to is Morgan's nice big statue of himself. And he says, "This monument is to my rank and my power. Like, it took years to build, but it's complete. Raise up my statue from the highest point of this fortress. It's a symbol of my greatness." He's literally just obsessed with exploiting how much he's accomplished on this Marine base. Which, in the big skew of things, he hasn't done much as a Marine. I mean, just not much at all. But he feels superior, and to everyone on this naval base's knowledge, he is a very powerful person. So yeah, Luffy's running around looking for Zoro's swords. He's not like looking for them very thoroughly. He didn't ask Zoro about what the best route is. He literally just runs to the base. Like, I'm gonna find that Helmeppo guy. He's being a dick earlier, and I'll make him show me where Zoro's swords are. But he runs there, and he's like, "Man, there's no Marines around here." He's like, "Where are all the sailors?" He's like, "I need to meet someone so I can actually find out where I'm going." He's literally gonna ask the Marines where to find friggin' Zoro's swords. Luffy is a very simple thinker. That's what we like about him, man. That's what we like about him. That's what brings these shenanigans. So yeah, all the sailors are on top of the Marine base, helping, trying to stand this mammoth statue. And Morgan's, freaking out. He's like, "Heave, heave," and it tinks on the side of the, one of the little towers on the actual base. Morgan's freaking out. He's like, "Did you just bump that?" He's like, "No, if you're that careless, man," he's like, "No, I will hold you accountable." And the guy's freaked out. He's like, "I don't want to get cut down like that, Lieutenant." He's like, No, sorry." He's like, "We were careless, sir. We'll make sure it doesn't happen." Luffy hears voices up there, and he's like, "People up there, I can probably get some directions if I, go up there. But why take the standard route, So, this is something we see a lot from Luffy. One of my favorite running gags of the Rubber Man himself. I'll go check it out, Anytime Luffy kind of goes for one of these moves or something similar, something generally goes wrong. So yeah, Luffy decides that, I'll just swing my arm all the way to the top of the Marine base. Gum Gum Rocket up there, get up there real quick and talk to everyone. Not the fact that most people haven't seen a Devil Fruit. He's already punched Helmeppo. The Marines probably aren't friends with him at this point, and Morgan's up there, and he's not a very happy dude. So Luffy just shoots up there. Gotta love Gum Gum Rocket. Always leads to some good situation and fast way to travel. I mean, we got the new One Piece World Seeker game coming out, and that's hands down one of the things I'm most excited for, and I think most everyone. Web slinging and Spider-Man games, great. Gum Gum rocketing across the map, gangster stuff going on right there. So Morgan's up there freaking out at that Marine who was like, "Sorry, we were careless," He's up there, he's like, "You swine." He's like, "You know how long I've waited for this? The statue, I've waited years for it to be finished, and you scratch it right as we go to stand it." And he's like, "This statue is like my person." He's like, "Scratching it is like attacking me personally." And this Marine's like, "Jesus, man, I didn't mean to." But all the while, Luffy's just rocketing his way to the top, and he kind of overshoots the gap a wee bit. And he grabs onto the nearest object, which happens to be all the, tethers holding Morgan's statue at this, kind of free hang spot where it's not quite standing yet. It's definitely not laying down. Luffy uses that to, kind of pull his trajectory back down to the tower. And we get the beautiful chaos that revolves around Gum Gum Rocket. And yeah, he just totally obliterates the statue right after Morgan got done going off about how, this is like attacking his person. And all the Marines just like drop their jaw. They're just like, "Oh dear God. Oh God, what's he gonna do?" Even Morgan doesn't know what he's gonna do. He's just got wide eyed, just years of waiting for him to, really stroke his ego. And Luffy crashes in on that in the most fashionable way and accidental way. Luffy's even kind of like, oh, I do. And he realizes the tenseness of this situation, which the one time he can read a room is when everyone's staring at him. And, um, uh, uh, yeah, so I'm sorry, but hey, yeah, I'm sorry. But if any of you happen to know where Zoro's swords are, I mean, I'm just looking for those real quick. I'm trying to get him to join my pirate crew, you know. Morgan's just like, seize him! I'll have his heart. A silver platter. Now he's like, yeah, seize him, you know. I'll have his heart, man. This is uncalled for. Years I've waited for this. My rank, everything. He's just tarnished everything I've worked for in my life. Head Helbeppo even screams, is like, that's the guy who hit me, Dad. And Luffy's just like, oh, there's that guy. I've been looking for you everywhere. He's like, all right, let's go get Zoro's swords. And Helbeppo's like, God damn it, no, Dad, help. So yeah, Luffy and Helmeppo run into the fortress, and Luffy's gonna go look for his swords. While that's going on, one of the Marines notices that somebody's gone into the parade ground, and they're near Zoro. And Morgan just turns, he's like, all these rebels defying me, kill them all. So Kobe's kind of just filling in Zoro on what's going on. He's like, well, first Zoro fills in Kobe on, you know, Luffy went into the fortress, and Kobe's just like, why is he so reckless all the time, man? Like, God, do you even think? No. And so I was like, yeah, I've noticed. Who is he anyways? And Kobe kind of gives Zoro the insight on what type of person, like, you know, Kobe goes there and he's trying to untie Zoro, and Zoro's just like, hey, you're being reckless now, man. He's like, if they catch you trying to free me, they'll kill you too. And Kobe just cuts him off. He's like, they imprisoned you unfairly. He's like, I can't stand to see the Navy act improperly. Kobe has a strong sense of justice, you know, for someone who isn't a Marine yet, and for someone who used to be on a pirate crew, he's got this strong sense of morality of what's right and wrong. He can see the difference between good pirates and bad pirates, and good Marines and bad Marines, which is a great thing. He follows this code of true justice to the extent that's it's true to him, and it's true to what good nature is, and it's not held accountable on, you know, the gray area of what is serving justice and what is you know, avidly seeking out power. I mean, yeah, people who are in justice, or who are in the Marines to get power. You have people who are there to save people and help the world. You have people who use the Marines for their own personal gain. But Kobe himself really just wants to help people, and he wants to catch the bad people. Doesn't mean all pirates, doesn't mean not Marines. He just wants to stop all bad people. He wants to help make the world a better place. And he kind of gives Zoro a little insight. He's like, I'm going to become a proper sailor, just like Luffy's going to become king of the pirates. He believes him. He believes, because of Luffy's resolve, that he will become king of the pirates of this. And that's awesome, because, you know, that's the type of person Luffy is. He makes people believe in him just by, one, the faith he has in himself, and two, the follow through. He can follow through on the stuff he does, but also it's like he believes in himself so much that other people want to believe in him. Believe it! But yeah, I mean, that's one thing. A lot of shonens kind of have the power of gusto and belief. But One Piece really shines on the dream factor of it. You know, it's his dream, and he has nothing else. And so why wouldn't he believe he could do that? That's the one thing he's striving for right now. Zoro's kind of blown away, and this is, like I said, really cool, because like Zoro starts to understand him. I love all these early chapters with Luffy and Zoro. It really shows a lot of their similarities, their camaraderie, and their respect, but also the differences in who they are. They're very different people. You know, what makes Zoro laugh isn't always going to make Luffy laugh. But the one thing is, they're both strong, and they understand fighting, and they have this strong sense of honor And they also have this strong sense of ambition that, they're striving for things larger than life itself, and that people who are trying to get in the way of that mean nothing to them. But they respect people who are going after the same type of ambitions they are. And he's kind of just like king of the pirates. Does he know what that means? And Kobe's like, yeah, I was shocked too at first, but he'll succeed or he'll die trying. That's how he is. That's it, man. That's the type of personality that Zoro can respect. Kobe's a good guy. Kobe's a goddamn good guy, and he gets shot here. Kobe gets shot. Yeah, he freed Zoro, and he's standing in the graveyard, and got shot down by one of Morgan's Marines, or Morgan himself doesn't really show, but this pisses Zoro off, man. All the while Luffy's trying to find his sword, Zoro is finally learning what kind of person Luffy is, and knows what kind of person Kobe is, and that these people are honest people that are trying to help him, and they are good people. And then he sees Kobe, someone who's trying to help him, just as that little girl gets shot down. Goddamn, Oda. You know how to draw an angry Zoro. I've seen angry Luffy, I've seen angry a lot of characters, but especially early chapters. This is some good stuff. I really like the intensity for Zoro in this panel. It's a small panel. Man, it really impactful. I had to use it for the thumbnail. Like, it's so good. But anyways, that's the overall of this chapter. We get one more chapter, I believe it is, that covers, the whole Morgan situation, resolves Luffy and the swords and Zoro. And we'll be moving on to, I believe it's Orangetown. Yeah, this was my review of Chapter 4, The Great Captain Morgan. Morgan being referenced to, obviously, Captain Morgan. Cheap rum. But yeah, we'll get into some more of this later on in the week. I'm gonna do the One Piece chapter review for 9/12 tomorrow. I believe it's gonna come out pretty much on time tonight. Seems so, and we'll be in for some good stuff tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna go stream and hang out. So checking in.